Savings and Sustainability, a comprehensive guide to benefiting your wallet and the planet. 1. Introduction. Sustainability as a double impact strategy. Sustainability has transcended its initial perception as a mere environmental ideal or an additional expense. Today, it is recognized as a fundamental strategy that intrinsically links economic well-being with environmental protection. This report will delve into how conscious decisions, both at individual and corporate levels, can generate significant and tangible savings while actively contributing to forging a greener and more resilient future for all. The interconnection between economic savings and environmental protection. The modern understanding of sustainability is based on three interdependent pillars: environmental, social, and economic. To achieve true sustainability, it is imperative to establish a dynamic balance between economic growth, resource efficiency, social equity, and financial stability. This holistic approach seeks to safeguard the environment while ensuring equitable rights and opportunities for all people. This interconnection is reinforced through guiding principles such as sustainability, which promotes timely, equitable, and rational environmental management without compromising natural resources for future generations. Likewise, the polluter pays principle establishes clear economic responsibility for environmental impact, incentivizing the prevention and remediation of damage. These guidelines demonstrate that environmental protection is not an isolated cost, but an integral part of responsible economic management. The relationship between economic savings and environmental protection goes beyond a simple sum of benefits. It is a systemic interdependence. Sustainable practices not only lead to a direct reduction in operating costs, but also act as a robust mechanism to mitigate long-term economic risks. These risks include resource scarcity, volatility in raw material and energy prices, and compliance with increasingly strict environmental regulations. By adopting sustainability, entities, whether households or businesses, build a stronger and more adaptable financial foundation, demonstrating how attention to the environment translates into greater economic resiliency and long-term profitability.
General benefits of adopting a sustainable approach. Adopting a sustainable approach offers a multitude of tangible benefits. Firstly, a notable reduction in operating costs is observed. By optimizing the use of vital resources such as water, energy, and raw materials, organizations and households can significantly reduce their expenses. Investments in cleaner and more efficient technologies, for example, often pay for themselves quickly thanks to savings generated in utility bills, which directly improves profit margins and strengthens competitiveness in increasingly conscious markets. Furthermore, sustainability opens new market opportunities. Global demand for ecological and socially responsible products and services is constantly growing. This allows companies to diversify their offerings and expand into emerging market segments, attracting consumers who prioritize the environmental and social impact of their purchases. Companies that integrate sustainability into their business model tend to exhibit improved long-term profitability. Investors positively value a long-term approach and the ability to manage risks associated with environmental, social, and governance, or ESG, factors, which translates into better stock market performance for these organizations. This strategic orientation not only benefits shareholders, but also fosters a more resilient economy. Another crucial benefit is the improvement of corporate image and talent attraction. Positioning oneself as a leader in sustainability not only strengthens a brand's reputation, but also attracts a more loyal customer base and new generations of professionals who seek to work for companies whose values align with their own.
This contributes to a more positive work environment, increases productivity, and reduces staff turnover. Finally, sustainability facilitates better adaptation to environmental regulations and reduces legal risks. Companies that anticipate regulatory changes and proactively adopt responsible practices not only avoid penalties, but also gain a significant competitive advantage by being better prepared to manage future challenges and capitalize on new opportunities in an evolving market. This approach demonstrates that sustainability is not simply an obligation or an additional cost. It is a comprehensive strategy that drives innovation, strengthens the brand, attracts capital and talent, and ensures long-term viability, creating a virtuous cycle of growth and responsibility.
2. Energy efficiency, lighting the way to savings. Energy efficiency represents one of the most direct and quantifiable ways to reduce both economic expenses and individual and collective carbon footprints. This concept does not imply deprivation or giving up comfort, but rather optimizing energy use to achieve the same results with less consumption. It is a pragmatic strategy that merges economy, sustainability, and well-being. Strategies to reduce energy consumption in homes and businesses. A fundamental first step for any home or business is to conduct energy audits. These evaluations accurately identify energy leaks and areas where consumption is inefficient, offering a clear roadmap for implementing significant improvements. One of the most effective measures is efficient thermal insulation. Improving the insulation of windows, roofs, and doors drastically reduces the need for heating systems in winter and air conditioning in summer. This investment can decrease heating use by 25 to 40% in winter and, in general, reduce a household's total energy expenditure by up to 80%, translating into significantly lower energy bills and greater indoor thermal comfort. LED lighting is another high-impact strategy. Replacing traditional incandescent bulbs with LED technology can reduce energy consumption for lighting by up to 80%, generating substantial long-term savings on electricity bills. Similarly, choosing efficient appliances with high energy ratings, such as A+++, or the new A classification, is crucial. These appliances are designed to consume less electricity and water, with an A+++ refrigerator, for example, using up to 60% less energy than an older model. This smart choice not only reduces expenses, but also decreases greenhouse gas, GHG emissions. The implementation of smart and programmable thermostats allows for optimizing energy use by learning occupants' habits, which can reduce heating and cooling expenses by an additional 10%. Complementarily, adopting responsible device consumption habits is essential. Simple actions such as turning off appliances instead of leaving them on standby, unplugging unnecessary chargers, and maximizing the use of natural light have an immediate and cumulative impact on energy consumption and electricity bills. The effectiveness of energy efficiency lies in its democratic and accessible nature. Radical changes or large initial investments are not always required to start seeing results. The sum of these small individual actions, when adopted by millions of people, generate a massive environmental and economic impact at a collective level. This means that solutions for cleaner and more economic energy consumption already exist and are within reach of homes, businesses, and governments, demonstrating that every conscious decision contributes to large-scale positive transformation.
Smart investments in efficient technologies and renewable energies. Beyond daily practices, strategic investments in efficient technologies and renewable energy sources offer long-term benefits. The installation of solar panels and energy storage systems at home, for example, can generate immediate savings on electricity bills. The cost of photovoltaic panels has decreased drastically in the last 25 years, by 95%, making these solutions increasingly accessible. They allow for autonomous energy production and self-consumption, which drastically reduces costs and environmental impact by eliminating carbon emissions associated with conventional electricity generation. In the business sector, sustainability translates into more efficient and profitable operations. Companies can achieve significant savings through energy audits that identify waste and by updating obsolete equipment. Similarly, municipalities have a great opportunity to reduce expenses and protect the environment. The implementation of smart public lighting with remote control, for example, can generate energy savings of 70 to 90% compared to traditional systems. Furthermore, transforming public buildings such as schools and hospitals into low-consumption spaces, often with the integration of local renewable energies, can generate enough savings to cover project costs and even free up funds for community welfare initiatives. It is fundamental to understand that, although initial investments in renewable energies or structural improvements may seem considerable, their amortization is remarkably fast. These investments should not be seen as a mere expense, but as the creation of a strategic asset that generates long-term income and increases financial resilience. The valuation of the property or business increases, transforming an initial outlay into a continuous source of savings and an attraction factor for buyers and investors. This strategic approach turns sustainability from a cost center into a value generator, consolidating its position as a sound financial decision. Table 1: Environmental Impact and Economic Savings of Efficient Appliances. This table concretely illustrates how the choice of efficient appliances and the adoption of energy efficiency measures at home directly translate into tangible economic and environmental benefits, offering a clear perspective of potential savings.